for Cowboy Call.
Yes, it's that time. Rob, Cowboy Call. And surprisingly, Jerry's been saying some stuff lately in the media. One of them is, no one's been talking about this, by the way. The tinted windows, by the way. He says he's thinking about it now because it worked so well in the World Cup. During the afternoon games, they're famous for having the sun in the eyes of the players.
Right.
And
what about the grass?
Grass is going, Rob. Grass is not a thing. Too expensive for the billionaire.
The NFL is insane that they won't do this.
It is insane, and especially there's a lot of weird reports out there about that specific turf and about the rubber cutting into you and it not being too healthy, for the players. So I know for a fact that the players don't like it, but
we don't want used tires directly into our skin.
It's weird, right? It's weird. I don't know. You get more grip, though. You get more grip for the speedy guys, but even the speedy guys don't like it because their knee goes one way, and that same grip is what turns their knee the other way.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, early reports are looking good for Caleb Downs. That's something that's going on in training camp, and he's already playing with the starters, which is really good news, and more importantly, confirmed in doing what he was expected to do when he was drafted. They got him in nickel, they got him in linebacker, and they have him in safety. Seems like Caleb Downs, according to the coaches, he's picking up on the playbook really quickly and performing really well so far. So obviously it's going to be a little fluff piece, but so far it's looking like Caleb Downs has been performing pretty well for the team, and good start to the year in training camp for him. Former Green Bay Packers edge Rashawn Gary, who was traded to the Cowboys in the offseason to try to get some sort of edge rushing veteran presence there, had a forced fumble, but more importantly is now on the leadership council suggesting, don't know what happened in Green Bay, but he's fitting very nicely in with the Cowboys team and seems to be excited to be on it and has already established himself as a leader. So pretty happy about Rashawn Gary jumping the load and seeing how he will do. The only injury currently, there was a couple more that popped off, but they're they're training camp players. None of them are too significant. There was one about Thompson, the other starting safety. He looks like he's going to be fine. It was just a small injury, but PJ Locke, the other safety, had a hyperextended knee, but the test came back negative. No damage. So, yeah, he might be out for a little bit for the training camp, but he should be back up and running. Outside of that, when it comes to the training camp side, I don't really have too much. But, Rob, I got something for you that I know you are not a fan of, and I want to get your reaction on. So I was reading an article about Dak Prescott with John Machada's interview on The Athletic, and the offense is coming up with a new slogan, and it's catching fire. They're all saying it. The slogan is goatee. Do you know what that means?
No.
Confusing, right? Same here. It got my attention. Greatest offense there is. Rob
At least it's GOTI.
Yes. Yeah, at least it's GOTI. Now, Rob, I don't know if you want to do your rant for GOAT, but I know you're not a big fan of hearing that 24/7. Probably because you have the GOAT as a quarterback with Tom Brady.
Yeah, we certainly did. He pulled away from Peyton Manning there, and he locked that up. And Mahomes, all you Mahomes fans, I'm not even saying Mahomes has to get to 7 Super Bowl wins. Just get to 5 or 6. We can start to talk. Until then, shush.
Yeah. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. Dak Prescott himself, he said in the quote in the article on The Athletic, he goes, "We were close to some historical things last year. And when you have the guys that we have, why can't let's be the greatest offense there is. So he's trying to get positive reinforcement for the team. And if you really look at it, it's a possibility. I'm not saying the greatest of all time. I'm not saying the greatest show on turf or in your case, Rob, the famous Tom Brady to, wow, why am I'm blanking on the name. No. The number one wide receiver, Randy Moss. I don't know why I just lost that name, sorry. But yeah, during that offense, which was really one of the best of all time, he's not too far off. Last year, they were ranked second in total yards, second in passing, ninth in running. One frustrating part was that they did struggle in the red zone, okay? But considering all that, they still finished seventh in total points, and they only got the ball 18th most in the NFL. They rank 18 in total possessions of offense. Now, we all know how bad that defense was, so that's not, of course they didn't get the ball that much unless the team scored really quickly, which typically they didn't. They just got all their third down conversions against our defense. But considering how low the possession rate was, the offense really did a good job. And if this defense does go mid-pack, causing more possessions for this offense, I think that's a big factor that goes into it, that it really could be a really awesome thing. I'm buying into a little bit of what Dak's saying. Pair that with if Jaden Blue steps up and becomes the lightning to Javonte Williams' thunder, this is going to be a really very potent offense. It's going to be a struggle for a lot of teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Did I sell it?
It definitely will be. Definitely will be.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it, and I like the little confidence that they're starting to brew over there, especially when the number one concern was the offense last year too. But with Shoddy taking over the play calling duties. Now, I know, Rob, you're doing a little bit of my homework for me, but what did you have about Shoddy starting certain preseason players or starting players in the preseason?
Yeah, for sure. I heard this. I was listening to one of my usual morning shows. When I'm in the car, I'm listening to the local ESPN radio station. And I was driving around this morning. I had to go pick up some breakfast tacos before work. And they were talking about Brad Sham actually asked Schottenheimer in a press conference, like, hey, how are you going to decide who's going to play? Because, earlier you said, like your star players aren't going to play. But where does that put people like a Caleb Downs, that sort of thing? And Schottenheimer pretty much said, in general, his player classification, he's got A players, B plus, B minus, and C tier players. A players aren't going to be playing at all in the preseason. B plus players are going to see about 10 to 15 plays. B minus players will get an extended limit. And C players can play all they want in the preseason buffet that is the Dallas Cowboys. So that's how that's going to work. And then he did clarify that there are some players that obviously we're like, they got to be an A player, right? Like Downs. Well, he's coming in from college, so I would imagine he's an A player, but you're going to see him get a few snaps in the first few games. You're going to see him play a couple drives. And then I'll say, okay, cool. He's caught up to the speed. Moving on.
I love it. I love the candidness of, hey, by the way, if you're out there, it's because I don't think you're good enough. And it should motivate those players to step up and try to perform and possibly put other players there. But, he says whatever, he's not putting Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, or George Pickens out there. We all know that. So
right.
He's going to keep it low. But I love the fact that he's keeping it there. So it's a pretty cool story. And I don't know. I like it. I like the candidness. Get it open to the media. Brad Sham, of course, the announcer for the radio broadcast for the Dallas Cowboys. Good on Shoddy.
Very
I
good.
like it.
And Sham is one of the best, I will say.
Yeah. Yeah. He's pretty good on the call. He's very sarcastic. I'll tell you that. Very sarcastic when they
I
lose,
love
but
it.
it's kind of funny. Yeah. It's a fun listen to. Always been a fan as a kid growing up listening to him. Outside of that, I really don't have that much going on the Cowboys front, which is a good thing, Rob, which is a good thing. We don't have contract disputes. We don't have weird things to talk about. But I did do a deep dive of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this is going to be the team. This is going to be the team that's going to be in our way, Rob. Big time.
Yeah.
You know, especially last year where they were defending their 2024 Super Bowl championship, they ended up finishing 11-6, third in the NFC, and winning the NFC title in back-to-back years. First team to do it in 20 years. Do you know the last team that did it, Rob?
Back-to-back titles?
Back-to-back
Division
NFC
titles?
East titles, division titles, yeah.
I mean, because you're asking, I'm guessing it was the Cowboys in like 1930, but I would assume the Eagles were the last ones to do it during their Andy Reid run.
Your assumption is 100% correct. It's actually the Eagles that did it back in the Donovan McNabb years. They used to throttle the terrible NFC East. We had Quincy Carter out there. I don't know what the Washington was doing, and the Giants were not that good either. Kevin Collins, who was actually not bad.
I think if I remember correctly, the at the time Redskins were running out like Patrick Ramsey at quarterback. There was that stretch where they had Danny Warfel come in when Spurrier was trying just to bring all his old college guys back and let them start, and that clearly wasn't a thing. Didn't work. It was a fun time for those fans in DC.
It was a terrible time all across the board in the NFC East, Rob, except for the Philadelphia Eagles with Donovan McNabb, Andy Reid just smoking the crap out of us, and they did a really good job at it. But so the first way I took a look at it is I looked at their weaknesses going into the season. And, let's start off with the strengths, okay? Their defense is really good. Vic Fangio, excellent defensive coordinator. Seems like he makes, mountains out of molehills, out of wherever he goes. He's just capable of building awesome defenses with very little talent, but this team is also talented. They finished fifth in total points allowed, and they had an elite secondary with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, and a great run-stopping front lead with Jalen Carter. So, defense, all around, good. Solid. Not much to work with there. They're just going to continue running what they have. The offense, though, finished 19th in total points scored. And surprisingly, with all the criticism that came Jalen Hurts' way, Jalen Hurts didn't do that bad. He ended up throwing for 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I know, Rob, this is one of your sticking points, that Jalen Hurts is a good wide receiver or a quarterback. Not bad. Not bad, especially with the frustration about A.J. Brown not getting the ball enough and being frustrated with that. Ended up stepping up and doing an okay job. The big issue actually was their run offense, where they finished 18th in rushing yards. A lot of people think Saquon Barkley possibly dropping off. It is a possibility. But more importantly, I think it was their O-line being injured last year, and the hopes for the Eagles are that they're going to have a bounce back. So what do they do in the offseason to fix it? Okay, well, we all know the worst kept secret from the beginning of the offseason was they're going to trade away A.J. Brown, and we even knew which team it was going to be. We all pretty much had a clue that it was going to be the New England Patriots, who ended up giving up a first-round draft pick in 2028 and a fifth in 2027, leaving a huge gap at wide receiver and a happy Rob, I'm sure, for picking it up, because he was a little worried when the news didn't hit immediately in the offseason. It took it a while, but it finally came through.
Thank you, Diana Rossini. I'm sure you helped broker that deal.
Oh, yeah. Probably was involved. And, of course, he liked his coach, Vrabel, back when he was with the Titans. So the expectations are that Devontae Smith is going to step up into the number one role. And they drafted in the 20th overall pick, Micaiah Lemon, the wide receiver from USC. who's hoping to replace the missing Brown. Despite the offense's weaknesses last year, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, and Cam Jurgens, who were all hurt, you take your pick. Whenever in the season, one of them was always hurt. They're just going to run it back, and they're just going to pray that they do not get injured. They didn't do any serious improvements on offensive line, but hopefully they're just hoping that they stay healthy and Saquon Barkley does what he does when he runs the ball. Defense, they didn't change much. They just got a couple more pieces, but they have such a good veteran front that I don't think they need to change too much there. They definitely had a lot of salary cap hell, so they definitely couldn't go get anybody in free agency, and their hope was to get it in the draft, but you had to address the wide receiving position. All in all, this team's going to be formidable. I think it's going to be a really good one. Doesn't really matter if they can't run the ball or not, because I think they're going to produce the same kind of stuff on the offensive front. It just wasn't that spectacular. I think we're asking a lot for Lemon to replace someone like A.J. Brown's production as a rookie.
He need to. That's what Devonta Smith.
But I don't think exactly. Devonta Smith's going to end up getting the ball, and he's going to be able to coerce himself into this offense slowly. And I think the draft pick was more possibly next year where he takes it to that next level. I do think wide receivers, it just takes a little bit more time, but it helps to have a Devonta Smith give him open opportunities, because Devonta Smith will get the double covered. Their defense should still be a serious threat as long as there's no injuries. And I just don't see much drop off from the team. I think they're going to run it back. I think they're going to end up going 11-6. They're just not going to win the division, Rob, because there's a new team on the block, and they're not going to allow it to happen 3 times in a row. Fun fact, Rob, last time they won it back to back. It was 3 in a row. It was 3 in a row, but we're not going to allow it. We're not going to allow it for the Cowboys. We should still win the division, and that's kind of my overall projections for the Eagles. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that all sounds really good. I think the Eagles, it's going to be interesting because their head coach seems to just barely have control of this team at any and all times. But there's a lot of talent there. I think there's some addition by subtraction with letting A.J. Brown come to a better structured team that will more approve and improve his talents. But yeah, Nick, we've got a lot of people asking, what did we say? What do you think their record is going to be this year? We got Tony, we got Infinite Nuance Studios. People are wondering what the record's going to be. If you think the Eagles are 11-6, if I recall, you're thinking 12 or 13 wins for the Cowboys.
12 on the spot, 12-5. That seems to be our magic record, and I think we're going to accomplish it. We're going 12-5, guys. All right? And I know Infinite Nuance, he's a big Cowboys fan. Tony,
yep.
I don't need this. What is this? 9-8? Come on, man. What are we doing? Believe. What's the point of not believing? Have optimism, guys. Have optimism.
Yeah.
And Infinite Nuance is, of course, making a joke. Yeah, that would be the big paycheck for Jerry Jones. He likes to keep it mediocre in the talks, but, not having to pay his team. But he's only got, I get it. I believe this year. He seems quiet this year. There's a reason for it. He's serious. Yeah. Rob.
As he should be. And Jerry has said he said, I think it was a couple days ago in an availability, he flat out said, the future does not matter. He is willing to trade away the future to win it all this year. He thinks the team is that good. Also, I think he knows how old he is.
Yeah, but he's got only $5.5 million left in the cap. I think he's just talking. I do. I don't think we're not going to go after Crosby. That's off. Like, we can't. We just can't afford him.
I mean, do you still have next year's first round pick?
Yeah, no, not because of draft picks. I mean, literally, we can't afford him. He's going to go over the cap. this year. Like if it was next year, yeah,
Well,
you can work the magic. I just don't
maybe
unless you
maybe
give up.
Flournoy goes off. Flournoy goes off, and you can send a first round pick or a second round pick and a Pickens. And you can bring Crosby back.
Yeah, you're not getting a first. You're not getting a first. And personally, lay off my Pickens. I love my Pickens.
Okay.
So
Straight
it's his
up
last
CD
year.
straight up CD for Crosby.
I maybe I don't know. I think I'm all in on Pickens, but I like CD too. But I know one of them's going to have to go, so I'm already mentally preparing myself that it's going to be a possibility. What do you got? What is it? Oh, and then last thing, talk me into why the Dallas into the Cowboys hype. Okay, all right.
We've been doing that for 3 weeks. Where have you been?
Yeah, right. It's simple. I'll do the quick version of it. I think this offense is going to be really good. I think this defense, all it has to be is mid, and I think we made the right moves to get that defense mid. New defensive coordinator, new scheme. Caleb Downs is going to make a big impact. Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark should be able to stop the run. It'll be a mediocre defense. And if it is a mediocre defense, this lights out offense can take us pretty far. And I'm just really believing in it. So I like the changes they're making. It's as simple as that, infinite word.
Yeah. It's going to happen. It's got to happen at some point. Why not now?
Why not now? Let's make it happen. But ready to get into some Homer headlines, Rob?
I am, and I can't wait till we're at like week 6 or week 7, and the Cowboys are 5-1, and Dak's a leading MVP candidate, and Tony is talking about how much he loves Dak. I'm looking forward to that.
Part of me is happy with this. I'm going, Tony, keep going. I might have a fellow just I told you so fan, but I'll take that, Rob. I will take that. Just for the I told you so sake. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick into the